All right, y'all, what's going on? Welcome back to Turn My City Up podcast. I finally got another guest. It's been a minute, bro. I ain't had a guest in a long time. I told y'all I would get somebody on. This is the person I was talking about. Then after that, we'll get the Houston guys on here because, we'll focus on the KD stuff. I went on the Houston guys pod not that long ago. But now we got to
What's
talk
up?
about
What's
what my
up?
boy Durag. What's going on, brother? How you
What's up,
feeling?
man? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great
Mm-hmm.
about the Suns. And when I was like,
Mm-hmm.
pretty down and out for a minute, so it's
Yeah.
nice. It's a nice feeling.
I'm pretty sure we all felt that way. But now we all like, okay. Like we weren't familiar with Brian Gregory's game.
Exactly. Okay, boss. All right, old man. Let's see
Yeah,
what you
we was
got.
not. I seen a lot of people getting on him about his like public speaking, but I was like, bro, he clearly has like a lot of energy though. And you could tell he was a coach by the kind of way he
Oh,
talked. You can tell he's like a college coach, 100%.
for sure.
Yeah, he gives those vibes for sure.
Yeah, I mean, hey, bro, not everybody's a great public speaker, but that fool's
Yeah.
basketball knowledge and what he was saying, like shot prep,
Hmm.
talking about feet,
Yeah,
inside
exactly.
pivot foot. Yeah, that boy was going
All
off
that.
for real.
Yeah, that's what matters. Like, we're not paying him to be a good public speaker anyway. That's not what we
Exactly.
paying him for. So it don't even matter. So about a few days ago, we then got started on the. First of all, tell me how I asked you this first. Actually, how did you feel at first when we first made the KD trade? Because I know most people was like down about it because a lot of that fleece talk, and I was like, everybody kind of knew what it was gonna be because KD's age and stuff. How did you feel when it first went down?
Man, like everybody, I think I was expecting a slightly bigger name package.
Yeah.
But you can't, Jalen Green's 23. Brooks
Hmm.
was defending and hooping and shooting the three well, and we ended
Yeah.
up with the picks that we had. We ended up getting some quality players. So I'm when I first heard it, I was a little disappointed, but aftermath, I can't say I am. I really
Yeah.
can't.
Exactly. Yeah. I think a lot of people didn't change their tone in just a matter of days, and the offseason's not close to over. Like that, just this is just really the start of the offseason for
Yeah,
everybody. So.
it's definitely dependent on Brad, bro. Like whatever they
Hmm.
can potentially give for Brad or whatever they don't get for Brad and have to buy him out, like that'll depend on how I actually feel about the season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's how a lot of people feel like the Brad thing. It got to the point for me, like I just said, I'm just like he's either just gonna be here on the bench or at home if they try that route, or he's gonna get bought out because I think the trade route is gonna be it's just gonna be tough. Like I do believe there's maybe a team or two that's willing to do it, but then it really still just comes back to like, does he want to go to that team?
You 100% believe that they're keeping Jalen Green, that he's not like a part of any potential trades in the future, because the trade can't
From
be
Yeah,
finalized till 6th, so we still got over a week.
yeah,
You think like they're not just
yeah. They
posturing
got
right
they
now
got
saying
time.
like he gonna be on the roster, but like maybe by July 6th, it's what if it's Brad and Book and some other pieces for how
Yeah.
you feel about
So
that?
what
How you
what I
feel about that?
heard, yeah, when I first heard about it, they were like they weren't sure. Now from what I'm hearing, I think the likelihood is that he'll be here. But I did hear they're not like if somebody called and asked for him and they asked for the package that the Suns like for real, they would send him. So the Suns not like just super attached to him, but the Suns are like they're moving like building teams like towards where like Book and Jalen are like the two main guys. So
Okay.
at first I thought like no, but I was like they might actually like Jalen. I have no idea. From what I heard though, they're moving like they're gonna keep him. So that's just how I've been looking at it because I feel like who knows? Like I said, it's a lot of time left. But as of right
Yeah,
now, it
that's what I'm
doesn't look like
saying.
there's any. Yeah, as of right now though, it don't seem like they got any like intention of moving them.
Yeah, they're like there's at least like 10 days left, so I'm just keeping my
Me
thoughts
too.
my
Yeah,
thoughts open. Like,
for
do they
sure.
do they love
That's
to
been
do
in the
that
back of
for
my
real?
mind. Yeah, that's been in
So
the back of my mind too, for sure. But oh, okay. So yesterday start the draft. There was a lot of talk of me and you was talking about Carter Bryant. We was talking about Murray Boyles. It was not really a lot of talks about Man because
yeah,
none of us thought he was getting to 10. So it was just kind of like I got to the point where I watched some of Man stuff. Like I already knew who he was though, because he's
for
kind of a
sure. Right
bigger.
next to Coop, you
Yeah, he's
happen
right
to
there.
do
So
game, you
it's
see.
hard not to watch. Yeah, it was hard not to see him. So I was already knowing him, but I wasn't like that whole week I was at work when I was posting. I was at work just watching film. I wasn't looking at none of his stuff because I'm like, he's not gonna be there. So what the hell? What am I watching that for?
Right, right.
So
Classic Suns fashion, right? Picking
yeah,
somebody we don't think is gonna be there or
yeah,
20 picks ahead of time. So
yeah,
nobody knows what the hell they're talking about when we first pick
at
the guy.
all, man,
So
at all. And then like, so we was just looking at a lot of wings, but I did hear that the Suns did like him. They said I seen the names. I know for a fact what the names were. It was like Noah Carter, Murray Boyles, if those guys are at 10. And they were like, if somehow, which the Suns didn't believe at all, that Man fell to 10, the Suns loved Man a lot. But like I said, the Suns and us, nobody thought he was gonna fall there. So we were watching the draft, and I was live streaming it, and noticed in the chat was talking. I was like, damn. And they got closer and closer, and they got like to the Raptors, and I was like, damn, the Raptors gonna take them and break my heart. And I was scared, and they didn't take them. Like, how was you feeling around that time?
man, that was the first time Masai Ujiri was out. Think
Yeah,
about it. Because that
true.
boy was a Masai pick like no other. So we should have been known. We should have been known
Right.
Masai was out. But yeah, dude, I'm calling Murray Boys. He feels like a Scotty clone. So I don't know really what they're doing out there.
Yeah, that was kind of
Um,
weird.
but I'm happy. Shoot, we got the
Right,
best projected like potential, for
for
a
sure.
center in the draft. I'm not
Hmm.
gonna say he's the best right now because I don't think he is, but
Yeah, he's a little
potential
younger.
wise, for
Hmm.
sure. Yeah, that
Hmm.
boy's only been playing for a few years. He's gonna be nice.
Yeah. So right when we did that, we'll get to Man, and those guys in a second. How did you feel when the Mark Williams thing dropped right after? Because I got my reaction on that. I was like, "What the hell?" Like I was because I
Yeah,
like Mark Williams, and I had
yeah,
tweeted about him. Like, did I tweet about him like that day or the day before?
something like that.
Yeah, I think it was something like that. I tweeted about Mark Williams. And by the way, y'all, because there's people saying, "Oh, Keith's call." I didn't know that wasn't like no inside. I would tell you if I knew like the Suns. I didn't know that was happening. It was just like, bro, if that was a hypothetical, I just threw out there his scene because somebody had tweeted it. I was like, I would take it. Like I would like him on the Suns. And then that happened. It was just funny. But that wasn't no inside. That wasn't insider keys. But I would just,
Yeah, no, no, I feel you. I feel you. You
yeah,
got, you got, you got to set the record straight. But I feel
yeah,
you. Can't be claiming everything.
yeah.
No, but I like Mark Williams, man. He destroyed us. I was
You
at
know
the
what?
game where he dropped like freaking 30 and 20 on us or something crazy.
Yeah,
I was sitting right behind the backboard
yeah,
watching that fool just destroy Mason Plumlee and whoever else was playing center
yeah.
at the time. So, um, if the Suns were at that, whoever's the decision maker was at that game watching, yeah, he loved Mark Williams. But
Hmm.
um, he's young. He's under 25, which is crazy. I feel like he's been in the league forever.
For I don't want to say he's 23. I don't
Yeah,
believe he's around the same age as Jalen.
yeah, he's like super
And I
young.
didn't know
So
that. Yeah,
you hope that the injuries, kind of cease for at least the contract year, right? Which is this year, and you can
yeah.
maybe
Hopefully.
trade him or something at the deadline,
Hmm.
or who
Hmm.
knows. But I like him as a starter right now. He kind of fits what Ott has had in the past, which is more of a um a semi-mobile scheme-wise center, right? Like somebody
Yeah,
who can get up past the three-point line, shade a bit to the level and get back, not just a drop guy.
yeah,
Um, so I like Mark Williams, bro. He's kind of similar to that like Claxton, Jarrett Allen type of guy that has been around. So it sounds like we're trying to help our coach be with guys that he's familiar with and knows how to use. So,
yeah,
you know, and he shot well, man, from the free throw line. Like he's nice.
yeah. I
I
like
think
it.
he'll be a compliment to Book and everybody. He's not a guy that typically demands like 15, 20 shots.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
so and he gonna finish everything at the rim. So I'm looking forward to it, man. I think the team composition is coming together. Like we
Yeah.
solidified the five, then
Hmm.
we went out in the second round. Maybe we can talk about that later, but we went out in the
Yeah,
second round and helped solidify the four.
yeah,
And now we got Brooks at the three. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So it's like
Yeah, it's fire.
I'm feeling decent about how the team is like built right now.
Yeah,
So
the roster balance definitely looking a lot better than it has the last
yeah,
couple of years.
we got Royce and Allen to kind of throw around and see what we can get for some bigger
Hmm.
guys. Teams that need shooting, we can trade for length.
Yeah,
I think we'll be straight, bro. For real, we might be at least fun to watch.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Now I gotta ask too because most of us liked it, but there were a lot of the naysayers like, "Oh, the Suns are dumb.
For
Why would
sure.
they throw in that pick for Mark when they just drafted man? Blah blah." How did you feel about that? Because I felt like the Suns did great, but how did you feel about like
You
the
know,
appointment that people were trying to make?
again, man, like in hindsight, you can't talk trash. These boys
Yeah.
really went out and traded the 29th pick and like
Hmm.
five basically second rounders for
Yeah.
Mark Williams. Right.
Exactly.
So it's like I'm not tripping, bro, because
Yeah.
we ended up getting pick 31. So it's like
Right. Right after that. Yeah.
we
It
moved
was like two. Yeah.
like we moved back two spots. Like I'm not even
Yeah.
yeah, I can't say nothing about it. Like because it
Yeah.
wasn't if the draft was a single day, like you in theory, right? Just say like everything happens the same if the draft is a single day.
Yeah.
In that day, we would have known, okay, so they basically just traded two spots back and got Mark Williams and got their number 20
I didn't even
overall
look
guy
at
on
it
their
that
board.
way.
Like,
That's facts. I didn't even look at it that
man,
way.
come on,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah. The
These
Suns
men,
8, bro.
BG was really in his bag for real. I
Yeah. He
can't.
was.
You know,
I couldn't believe, like, I was seeing TikToks of like certain creators. Like, I get it right now. Right now, it is easy and fun to cook us and pile up on us. Y'all know,
for
I
sure,
obviously I'll be cooking the damn front office too when they do stuff because
for
y'all know
sure,
like my
man.
cool relationship with Katie and stuff, bro. When they're doing good, y'all see I give them love and they did good. I was not. I love everything they did, bro. So
Bro,
even when I
we're
seen, I was like,
fans.
what?
We're fans.
Yeah,
We should be able to
exactly.
talk about the good and the bad. We shouldn't our
Yes,
opinions don't matter that crazy. We're just
yeah,
talking,
yeah.
right?
We're
But
not
like
making the decisions.
but that's how we feel in the moment. Like you can't really do
Yeah,
nothing to what you
right.
say. I think, that's crazy, bro. It's
Yeah, but
crazy.
I just want to ask you about that because I seen Sons get. I was like, bro, how are we getting slandered for this? Like, bro, have you
Yeah,
guys seen the center position we've been watching the last 2 years?
it was pick 29 and it was a like super swapped pick already. So
Yeah, exactly.
if we're in the apron, if we're in the
Yeah,
second apron, that thing was going straight to the back of the first round anyway. Or if we're not in the apron,
right,
it was the worst of like Cleveland and Minnesota, and it's like you don't expect those teams to be bad in 2 to 3 years, right? They got Ant, they just signed Nas, like these fools are gonna be good, bruh. So
right,
yeah, it was gonna be another 29 pick or something at the end of the first round. That's
right.
yeah, and the Lakers
Yeah,
traded
bro.
like basically double that. You know what I'm saying? They
Yeah,
traded like double that for Mark Williams. So it's, what? Why are we tripping, bro? Yeah,
yeah, I get it. That's what I was saying. I was like, bro, I think people are just hating because it's easy to pile up, and for some reason, Suns hate gets you. You get interactions, you get love, or when you trash your Suns. For some reason, it's fun to
whack,
pile up
bruh.
on us, even when we're doing good stuff.
Whack.
Yeah, it's whack, but it is what it is. So, how do you feel about how some of the people were like, "Oh, are they gonna play?" I'm sure they might try it here and there. I don't think it'd be a lot of minutes. But how do you feel about people saying, "Oh, maybe Man and Mark will be out there together at times"?
So that kind of, I actually want to talk about this a little more, like, and even get your opinion on it, because I haven't put this on
Yeah.
the internet or even really told anybody about this. But I've been thinking about the
Hmm.
type of players they drafted, right? So let's also touch on Fleming real quick, right?
Right. Yeah.
So they drafted Fleming, who got like a +9 wingspan. They got
Yeah.
uh, a man who's got a crazy +7.5 foot wingspan or whatever.
Yeah.
We also had KD and Bol, right? Which, in my
Hmm.
opinion, are two of the longer wingspan, but like elite touch guys in the NBA.
Yeah.
So they got data on like body angles and freaking, these long limbed crazy fools.
Yeah. Exactly.
They got data in the Suns
Hmm.
building on how these guys have been successful in those same areas of the court with those same
Hmm.
type of measurements. So in my opinion, bro, right? I'm over here thinking like if they were Frankensteining data from these fools and being like, okay, if we can make your body move like KD,
Yeah.
right? Your 30% 3-point shot goes to like 36, right? You ain't
Right.
gonna be KD, right? You ain't gonna be a
Right.
40,
Exactly.
45 guy. But like if your
Right.
30% shot goes to 36, 37,
Yeah. Exactly.
now you actually making people run at you. Now
Mm-hmm.
you actually a threat. Like, I don't know, bro. I'm intrigued that they went with these like super long and lanky guys after we already had some of those elite touch lanky guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe trying to like create them,
Yeah,
in
that's
like
what I'm
the
saying.
in
Yeah,
their son's developmental lab.
yeah, exactly. Because bro, I didn't even me like when I was just watching a whole bunch of his stuff afterwards too. I was like, I knew his jumper wasn't bad. But I was like, bro, his jumper looks good. Like it don't look bad at all. Bro. So I was like,
I mean,
he could keep getting better.
he be throwing that thing like angrily at the rim, right? It's a little bit of
Right,
a catapult.
right,
It ain't like a
right,
soft jump. Like that
right.
guy's angry at
Yeah,
the rim, but it be going
for
in.
sure.
So
Yeah,
it be going in.
that's funny because I was like, I don't know, man. I was like I said, a lot of that will probably depend on the jumper, but it's like I was like, maybe at times, people try to bring up the Mobley and the Allen stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it because Mobley shoots, he shoots the ball good enough. I ain't saying he's like a great 3 point shooter either, but I get it. But
Yeah,
that was really before the Fleming thing too, though, when
yeah.
people were speaking
I
on
think
that.
the man and Mark thing is like an interesting concept, and like I think they should definitely try it at least for 50 minutes total or something.
Yeah,
But
just to see what it looked like.
I don't know if it's like an actual thing that they want to be throwing out there. Both guys are like super big.
Yeah, that's what I believe too.
You might like hurt each other. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
something
yeah,
crazy
the
could
way.
happen.
Yeah, they could get in the way and shit.
So I don't know. But it's interesting. I definitely want to see it. Like for sure.
Yeah,
I definitely want to
yeah,
see it. So I'm not opposed to it at all. But what I would say is that based on what they want to do, they want both the 4 and the 5 to be able to screen and roll, in my opinion.
yeah,
And then they want at least one of them to be able to shoot. And so
yes,
with the
for
Fleming
sure.
pick, it definitely
Yes,
makes sense to pair like Mark and Fleming, or like Mark and Dunn, right? If they're
yeah,
the
exactly.
starters, and then
Yeah,
you got
exactly.
Fleming and Man in the background, the
Yeah,
second unit trying to mimic what the
do the
starters
same
are doing.
thing.
So
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, so let's move on to man or to Rashir now. So how do you feel like he's
yeah,
gonna come in here fit in? Like, is he gonna be the backup four, or is he gonna get some of those 3 minutes too? Where do you think he's gonna be at?
I honestly think he's more like 4 or 5 right now than he is 3. Um,
Yeah.
he moves kind of like a 4 or 5 on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if he's a 3. I think like you slide Dunn down to the
Mm-hmm.
3 more,
Yeah. Exactly.
with Brooks, and you kind of let him be the 4 or 5 interchangeable guy. Um,
Yeah.
so what I like about him is that I think right now he's most effective near the rim. He's just
Mm-hmm.
crazy long, bro.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's like it's like freakish for real how long he is.
Mm-hmm.
So he be like taking off from the free throw line, no dribble, like dunking,
Yeah.
on these small white fools in the
Yeah.
whatever conference he's in. But
Yeah.
in the NBA, I think what he's got the ability to do is space to 3 eventually. I don't know if he's going to be like a real shooter right now, but
Yeah.
eventually he'll space to 3. And I
Mm-hmm.
think he's got the body to be like a closeout guy,
Yeah.
and just like one dribble, body to the rim, with
Yeah.
some
Exactly.
physicality, and get there. I think he's a playoff guy. Like I think he's a guy that you could throw out there in that Obi Toppin role,
Yes.
like the Pacers were
That
doing, and
makes
just be
sense.
like
Yeah.
shoot, dunk, run the floor.
Yes.
Like he does that crazy well.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, I'm excited about him. I watched a lot more film on him because I thought he was
Yeah.
in play for 29. I thought he was out of
Yeah.
play for real. I thought he would be like a top 20 pick, but at
Yeah.
29, he was kind of like the ideal guy. So the fact they got him at 31, man,
Yeah.
no
That's fire.
complaints.
You
Six,
seen what he said when he said, "If I'm not making shots, which I doubt,"
which
that
I
tells me he
doubt.
has confidence in his jumper. I
Yeah,
feel
bro.
he's confident. He's been working on it, so I like that. I like his
Yeah,
attitude already. I like we need these young, all of these guys, these young dogs. Him, even Jalen. I know Jalen not was a rookie, but they gonna be coming in like trying to prove something and
yeah,
going
man.
at these other teams and all
I
of that.
think they all got opportunities ahead of them, right? Like this is a city that it's really easy to fall in love with our athletes, right? We like Arizona
Yes,
loves basketball, bro. So like when our
yes,
basketball team is great,
for
they
sure,
get some crazy amount of love.
for
And
sure.
if all these fools play hard, right, and ain't doing the freaking real deal,
Yes.
PTO gig,
Yeah, exactly.
that's, as long as they ain't doing all that stuff, I think we'll be able to root for him, bro, with like with the
Yeah,
whole city behind him. So
for sure.
I'm liking what the front office did for sure to start. We
Yeah,
still got we still got moves to make.
I've been just happy about it because I just been, man, not just me, like I know you too, like bro, we just been begging to get athletes and be able to, and not like bro, nobody's gonna be able to really call us small next year. I even used to feel like even when we had the 2021 team outside of like DA when DA's come out, like we used to feel small.
We were
Outside
small.
of, like Jay,
We
we were
were.
small then too, like bro, like you can't call us small no more. We have
We were
like
running
bro, we're a
Dario
big
at the
team.
5, dog, like
Yeah,
5,
like we were a
6'8"
small team,
Dario.
bro. Yeah, Jay Crowder was, our four. He's pretty. He was good at it. He was cool at it, but even he was like, some matchups he was just too small too for. But cause Jay
Yeah.
Crowder was like 6'6", something like that. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, like bro, we've been asking for an athletic. Like next year we're gonna be big, and everybody we drafted. I want to say everybody we didn't draft anybody under 6'7", right?
Nope.
Because how
Yeah,
tall is
Brea.
Rasheer?
Brea
Yeah, because Bray is like 6'7", bro. Like
Yeah,
we didn't
Rasheer's
draft
like
nobody
6'8",
small.
6'9",
Yeah,
something
six
like that.
eight, six nine.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
He's the legit
he's long,
NBA
bro.
body. Like
Yeah,
we
and
have
man
not had
speaks for
somebody like him.
himself. Yeah,
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 exactly.
that's his leak. His size speaks for itself. So it's just like,
I like man. I like his like lateralness.
yeah,
I don't know if he's gonna be like I'm not okay. I want to temper people's expectations, right? Like
yeah,
we had DeAndre in at the number 1 pick, right? And he is still to this day a quality offensive big man. Like
yeah,
no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That level of production that DeAndre had, like with his touch and like all that stuff, the 16 and 10, like coming out, like
yeah. He was. You gotta
I
remember
don't
he was
know.
the number one pick for a reason.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if Man Man's
That's
gonna
what it was.
replicate that. And I don't want people
Yeah,
to put those same expectations on him, right?
right.
Because like it is slightly different contexts and situations. Um,
Yeah,
but the potential, in my
yes.
opinion, is somewhere between like gigantic Miles Turner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if he really does end up shooting the three, like he's like
Yeah,
gigantic Miles Turner,
yeah,
or
exactly.
right, if he does kind of tap into that shooting stroke and he's making people close out and he's got some ball handling, the ceiling is like Embiid light. So
Yes, yes.
it's like I just hope this kid gets the right developmental track.
Mm-hmm.
I hope the Suns took everything, if they still have anybody in the building, from Aiton, and just say like this was his limitations. If there's any way for us to mitigate those same limitations, because that's where
Yes.
Booker struggled, like
Yeah.
let's get this kid into the gym every single day and just make him better. I
Yeah.
think Book said he wanted a lob threat. So it's like, let's rock, bro.
Got two of them now.
We got 2 of them that are
Yeah.
some of the best in the league, bro. So let's
They
rock.
go eat off him for sure. And obviously that's gonna help Book, his mid range and all that. We see how much that helped when, Aiton was here because people are scared of that lob. And you got two
Yeah,
of them. So that's gonna be like 48 minutes of it.
yeah.
That's what we're hoping. Obviously, we hoping, Mark stays healthy. That's the really the main, knock on him. But
Contract year, brother.
yeah, exactly. He gonna
If it
play
ain't
hard, bro.
if
And he
it ain't
seems
now,
hype. He seems hype, bro.
if it ain't now, Mark, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That
Yeah.
contract going from 25, 30 to, 5,
Yeah.
10 MLE, brother.
He
So
gonna play hard as hell. We know Man play hard, so our center is like, man, it's
yeah,
just gonna
man.
be
I'm
night and
excited
day.
for this year. I'm excited for
Yeah,
this
for
year.
sure. Now, this guy, for everyone knows, believes he's the best shooter in the draft. I'm real interested
Hard to
about him
argue.
because, yeah, like him, I didn't really watch. I've watched a few Kentucky games. I know who he is. Him, I still haven't watched it. I got probably after this. I'm probably gonna go right after and go watch a whole bunch of his stuff. He's the one. Like I seen a lot of Rasheer stuff. I was watching his. I didn't watch anything of Bria. I
Yeah.
know that he got a clip, so I'm gonna go watch him and see if he's interesting. I was looking at a few of my boys that I know for sure are Kentucky fans, and they were telling me like people were trying to knock his defense, but they were like he was in towards like the end of games and getting stops. Like when it's time to lock in, he showed he can
Yeah,
guard. He's 6'7". He has the body too. So
for
I
sure.
want to go lock in on him. Like how do you how do you see where you see his role being?
Yeah, man. I think okay, you hooped in like, some type of formal setting, right? So it's like
For sure.
when a dude is a shooter when they got like fools literally sprinting at this man with
Running full
like
speed.
no regard for their own life, body. They're
Yes.
like, I have to contest this jumper.
Yeah.
That is how Brea makes people react. And so it's
Yeah.
like, okay, man, people are asking like, well, can he be the next book? Can he dribble? And it's like, you don't want a guy that makes people react like that off the ball, on the ball, man. You want
Yes.
you want somebody on the ball that makes people
Mhm.
react, and then a dude like that they're flying at,
Flying too.
and
Yes.
then you get that beautiful game. So
Yes. That
that boy really
rotation
does
on
have
defense.
that boy really does have one of the purest jumpers I've literally ever seen, bro. Like,
Yeah, that shit was cash, bro.
hand in his face, like he's got enough. He's such a shooter that he doesn't
Hmm.
need to dribble to like juke the
Yes.
dude out. He's just like shot fake,
Pump fakes
jab
enough.
step,
Yeah.
jabs, bro, and they're flying.
Those are my favorite type
They're
of players, bro.
flying, and then this boy just yaga in their
Yeah.
eyeball. Like, so I'm excited for him because I think he actually has a role. Like, right, we were talking about Grayson Allen maybe being on the move.
Yeah.
He's got an immediate role to step into Grayson's spot and do
Hmm.
some of the same things with a slightly bigger body. Like,
Yes.
so I'm
That's
think like
fire, bro.
somebody saying I said George's Niang just got traded. Like,
Yeah.
that boy's still in the league. Like, if Brea, in my opinion, is a more versatile shooter and they're kind of the
Yes.
similar builds, I'm like,
Yeah.
if Niang can play in the playoffs and contribute, 4 or 5
Right.
threes, like, why can't this guy
Yeah.
who
He might
led,
immediately walk in and be one of the best shooters in the league.
bro, the way he carries himself, and like,
Yes.
man, yeah, nah, he might actually be him for real.
Yes. And he gives me those vibes too. Like, there's a lot of shooters that are like knocked down for real, but they get that ball like he feels like somebody's catching it. He's not like it's going up.
Oh
He
yeah,
gives me those vibes. He's not scared.
and it's
Same way I used to feel
pure.
about Cam Johnson because I
It's
didn't feel like Cam Johnson was scared to catch and shoot either
Cam Johnson wasn't scared to catch and shoot. I
at
I
all.
think I think Cam was like way more athletic attacking the closeout. That's like
For
his
sure.
knock. That's his knock.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think this dude does not see a contest, bro. Like,
Yeah. At all.
Cam saw a contest even at 6'8". This guy,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah.
matter who you are, bro. Like,
Yeah.
that boy is pulling. It's actually kind of
Yeah.
sick. Like,
Yeah. I see some clip of him doing that in the corner, like a crazy contest, and he shot it and turned around like Steph and said something to the
yes,
bench. I
bro.
said, "Oh, he's different, bro."
Bro,
Like
like,
he act
yeah.
like the dude wasn't even there, dude.
Nah, that was I saw that same thing, man. Like,
Yeah.
okay, bro. Talk to me, Brea. You know what I'm
Yeah. I
saying?
like that.
They're calling I think he's Dominican. So they're saying there's gonna be some like Latin flavor in the
Oh
valley
shit.
and stuff. Him and Book might be
Yeah,
going
Book, yeah.
crazy.
Book gonna take a liking to him off rip because Book probably already knows a lot about him just because where he went to
Six
school.
man at Kentucky, bro. That's his story. Like,
Yeah,
I
like he's
think he
gonna
said
know.
Book was his favorite player. So
Yeah,
I'm sure maybe Book even had some
yeah,
say in that
yeah.
pick because
I
they were
want to
talking.
point out how there's a lot of players like in every draft at this point saying that about Book. That's letting y'all know what Book, what his legacy gonna be when he done, bro. We hear that a lot now. Didn't Trey Johnson say the same thing? Carter Bryant, I believe, said it.
One of his favorites.
Yeah, Carter Bryant said I like Trey Johnson a lot too. By the way, y'all, I like him a lot. Dude from Texas. I know
Yeah,
he said something about Book before.
Washington might be crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Nobody on their team is like, you know, nobody on their team weighs more than you, but
yeah, exactly.
they might
Right.
actually be dirty for real.
They gonna be quick though. They gonna be lining their feet
They're
out there, getting
long,
out there run. They
they're
long,
long, they can
yeah,
shoot. Yeah, they'll be fun, man.
yeah,
They'll be fun.
yeah. That'll be a little fun to watch. Yeah. So, yeah. So what grade are you giving them for this draft?
I think anything less than a solid A is like blasphemous, bro.
I swear, I was gonna say. So I didn't want to know say. I didn't want to say it, bro. I didn't feel like I was gassing it. But I'm
Nah, I
like, bro,
mean,
they
let's
killed that, bro. That went way better than any of us like
come
really
on, man.
expected for real.
Come on.
They killed that draft.
You hope that everybody that they picked has a pretty high offensive ceiling. Everybody that
Yes.
they picked has some NBA measurables and comps that are like
Yeah.
to get excited for. Like, my boy Fish was saying that Fleming, his comp is like bigger Rocco.
Yeah,
Robert Covington. So it's like
yeah.
if
Oh,
we
that's
get
fire.
bigger Roko, like next
Yeah,
to
bro.
Book, we
That's
were
a
asking for Roko like 10 years ago next
yeah.
to
We
Book.
were.
So
We were.
it's like okay, I see the vision. They're saying
Mhm.
man could be like Miles Turner, who we could have traded for. They're saying he
Right.
could be potentially Embiid light if everything comes together. Like
Yeah. Best
an
case scenario.
another perfect big next to Book. Like there
Yes.
are things to be excited for, man. And then that Brea kid, like I said, legitimately one of the best shooting tape like I have ever seen, bro. The
Yeah. I gotta go tap in.
the no dribble reactions, dog. Like where
Yeah, that
he
tells you a lot.
catches the ball, he jab steps to the right, and dudes are freaking flying, and then he's just yaga in their eyeball. Like, bro, you don't like that is nuts. Like
Yeah,
people,
that's a special shooter.
I think like what when basketball looks so easy, that's when you know it's
Hmm.
hard as hell.
Yeah,
'Cause like
that's that. That's a
they
bar.
rep the hell out of that shit. Like it
Hmm.
looks so effortless. Like
Yeah,
when it looks that easy, like you know it's incredibly hard. So yeah, I don't know. I think that kid is gonna be special. I could see him actually being the one who earns the most minutes like right
yeah,
away,
because
to
that's
be honest.
shooting. Yeah, that's shooting immediately. Like that type of shooting immediately translates. So yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. And especially if Grayson does end up gone,
Hmm.
which there's now some talk like maybe that him and Royce might be staying, but I feel like they're still looking from what I've heard. But especially if those guys are actually end up gone for like some bigger guys or something, like you said, he Bray immediately can just come in and play that Grayson role, and then he gonna give you a little more upside on the defensive end just because he's bigger.
Right, right.
So yeah,
Grayson's definitely an NBA pro. Like,
yeah,
let's
100%.
let's not disrespect that man and say
Yeah,
like,
when I be
uh, uh,
telling people too, I'm like, I believe Grayson's good. It's not there. That center
yeah,
we had, I didn't think he was good. I always thought
hey,
Grayson
hey,
was at least a good player.
I'll take my licks there, bro. I was out here saying, was he a better fit? And in theory, potentially, but in execution, absolutely the fuck not, bro. That boy
Yeah.
had no more. That boy had no more knees, nothing. He couldn't jump over a paper bag. So
Yeah, so
I'll take
I don't even want to put Grayson in that guy. I tell people Grayson's a good. Like when I'm saying stuff like that, it's really not about him. It was just about the team. Like
it's
a
yeah.
lot of the
We had
guys,
9 dudes under 6'5",
yeah,
bro.
yeah,
Like
that's
it's
really
not,
all it is, bro.
like somebody
They
got
they
to go,
always
and
in a
he got the
bad
best
thing.
contract, and he's shooting 45% from three. Like it makes sense, right? He
Yeah,
got
that's
value.
all it is. Yeah, because Grayson's a good damn player, and I will say too, Grayson plays hard. He tries on defense. That might not be working. He don't have a foot speed, obviously. And he's too small to be guarding wings, but he tries. That's why I
Yeah,
would say I do respect Grayson. He try,
for
even if he's
sure.
getting fried. Grayson out there, but he's
Yeah,
giving it his all,
no,
bro.
I respect Grayson
100%.
because he gives you a pride foul here and there, where he's like,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. I'm like,
throwing
all
this
right,
nigga to
bro.
the floor.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You know not to keep cooking me.
like
Like
man,
I'm about to foul
no,
the hell out of you.
it is not about to go like this for the rest
Yeah,
of the night, bro.
for sure. So as of like right now, obviously we might not be done. We might be done. Who knows? I think they're gonna pick up somebody. I think they're gonna at least try to get at the least they're gonna try to get a point guard on the roster, even if that point guard's not starting, obviously. So right now, who do you believe the starters are?
Okay,
Starting lineup
team as
right
is,
now.
it'll be
Mm-hmm.
Book,
Mm-hmm.
Jalen, it'll be Brooks, Dunn, Williams.
Okay, we agree. Just because I've seen a lot of fans saying, um, start someone. I gotta say this too because a lot of people were like, maybe put. There was a lot of people saying Brooks off the bench. I said Brooks can come off the bench. He's by far the best 3-and-D on the team. There's absolutely no way he's coming off the bench. Bro.
Right, he's the
He's the
point of
best 3 and
attack
D.
guy, bro.
Yeah, he's the best. He's the best. We've been asking for guys like he's the best 3-and-D guy on the team. He's not coming off the bench. Obviously, we all love Ryan, but we all know too Ryan has some work to do on the consistency on his 3-point shot. We know he made some strides, obviously, but bro, Brooks was just locking up and shot 40% from three. Like
Yeah,
Book,
I think
Jalen, and Brooks are a lock to start
yeah, in that
for sure.
lineup too, you can get away with Dunn being a semi threat from three with the
Yes,
gravity of Mark Williams down low.
yes,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
exactly.
So it's like, and then you still get that athleticism, you get that 6'8" body. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You still got. I feel like it's a smaller lineup, to be
Yeah,
honest, but it's a
yeah,
decent starting lineup. And then
yeah.
you bring in the athletes, off the bench, which is
Hmm.
I think the plan.
And I think done for the because I think a lot of teams for the most part. A lot of teams are starting wings at the four. I think Dunn could guard a lot in the fours, and then Dunn gives a lot more effort on the glass. And I think people realize like Dunn going in there flying to get rebounds too, bro. I don't
Yes,
think people
brother.
peeped that last year, bro. Dunn being there doing that dirty work, and he's longer than people think
I'll
too.
actually say that's his best NBA skill right now.
Yes, people.
The
I don't
way
think people's been paying attention to that.
he is
He's
a
going in there
live
to
body
rebound.
at the rim.
Yeah, he's going in there
That
to
boy's
rebound. Like
flying at the rim.
he will be
Yeah,
fine out there. And then he can present some issues for some of the forwards that's trying to guard. Like if he gets, I think he's not that bad at, he can learn up like to close out. And then Dunn got potential to go dunk on your head if you close now. He blow by you.
yeah.
He'll go dunk on you. So
Even in
yeah, that's what
transition,
I
man,
think.
like, you get
Yeah,
somebody bigger than him and he just
yeah,
goes running down the floor, right? Because they say they want to play faster. They want to get out in transition, like
yeah.
crash the
That's gonna be
glass,
fun next
you
year.
know?
They're for
Yeah,
sure gonna do that.
throw Ryan out there and let him go, go
Yes,
have Mark rebound everything, bro. Like
yes,
you want that $30 million contract, brother? I need 15 rebounds, G.
yes. Go
I need
snag them.
15 rebounds. I need two
Yes,
transition outlet passes to Ryan Dunn for dunks a game, bro, and
yeah,
you're gonna make
exactly.
35 million.
Yeah, yeah,
Bet on
for
it.
sure. Yeah, that's what I believe the lineup would be. I like that lineup. Like I said, I think it's a good mixture. Book, Jalen, Brooks, obviously all can shoot.
Yep.
My favorite thing about the team, bro, is really just like, bro, it feels like there's 5 guys that have potential to get a poster every night. Like, bro, Jalen might destroy you at the rim. I think he's by far gonna have the most posters next year because he's gonna be playing off Book and that Book
Dude,
swinging into
we were
him
betting
and
on
yeah.
KD to be the poster
Yes.
guy last year.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes. We was
shout
betting
out the
damn
GOAT,
near
bro.
40-year-old. And he
Shout
was
out
getting some. That's the funny part.
shout out the GOAT, bro.
Yes.
We can talk about how the era went, but
Yes.
Durant is him.
Bro, he's that guy. That's my
Durant
dog,
is
bro,
him,
forever.
and that Houston team, man,
Yeah, they're gonna be a problem, bro, for sure.
they
Yeah, it's
got
just like, damn,
they got everything the Suns just drafted, but like 3 years of NBA experience, and we
development
know
and
that
all
they
that.
work. Like
Yeah,
it's like
yeah, yeah.
shit, bro.
That's what I love too, because I could tell we're kind of looking at them and like OKC, like, okay, watch this. We're gonna try to put that around Book and see in a few years if we can. Like, I see what the vision is. It's just like that's gonna be my favorite thing. Like I said, Jalen could get you at the rim.
Sneaky.
Ryan, we seen Ryan get Giannis. Man to get you. Mark can get you. Rasheer get. That's 5 dudes. I believe in me. Like, bro, it can get up. Like, it need to get a post at any time in the game, bro. Like,
Yeah.
we had missed that badly, bro.
It was
Badly.
literally Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal, which is kind of like dope in hindsight, but at the same time, it
Yes.
was like once a
These guys are a little
game.
older
And
and they're
yeah,
yeah.
like every time Brad did it, he breaking his
You
nose or
scared?
breaking his
Yeah.
ankle. It's like,
Yeah.
man,
Like you be scared, man. Like if you all those dudes I named is all 23 and younger, bro. They
yeah,
want to go in there and dunk on you.
yeah, they'll break their wrists and come back next week, and
Yeah, be straight. Like that's my favorite thing about it because I know Book's gonna look like bro. Book gonna be, Book love throwing lobs. Book gonna be able to throw all of them dudes lobs, bro. He gonna have fun getting out the transition. Him, Jalen, all of them. Because Jalen,
Oh,
I think Jalen like throwing lobs. So he's throwing lobs to Amen and his teammates and stuff too out there. It's gonna be fire, bro. At least like you said, at the very least, we're gonna be fun as hell to watch, for
at the
sure.
very least, man. We
Yeah.
got hope. We got hope at every position. You
Yes.
can't really like ask for more.
Hmm.
Um, Man, I respect Matt Ishbia coming in and trying to new owner syndrome this thing, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I'll never be mad. The only thing you obviously, I'll be what's because of KD stuff, but we ain't even gonna get into all of that right now. Like they did what they did, they moved on. It is what it is. They got KD somewhere they want to be. And then from the package now so far, like we got some of the stuff we need to go forward and retool and not, full rebuild. Like all the talk about the retool, everybody's like, oh man, we're not gonna be able to people tones is now changing about that retool and about Book and all that. Like we got to see how it goes and see how these guys start, looking together. But it's fire. It's fire for sure.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I
Yeah,
can't complain. I've been in I would say a son's pit of misery for like since what freaking
man. You was
December, dog.
all
So
of
it's
us.
like the draft definitely saved my
Yeah,
family for sure.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
I'm hyped for the off season. And
yes, for
let's
sure.
come back, man. Let's show some pride. Let's show some Phoenix energy, and
Yes, that's the
you know,
main thing I'm saying. Show some pride. I'm tired of us being that team when they know they coming in and oh, that's easy. Like a random gonna come in here and get 30. I think those days might be. We gonna be guarding, bro.
yeah,
We're going
we
to be
might be
guarding out here in
88.
Phoenix.
88 to
Yes,
92.
88. Yes, but
No, but
we're guarding out here in Phoenix now, and I've been begging and waiting for that. I've been begging for us to be like more defensive. Like this is gonna. You look at the roster now, you're looking at it like a defensive minded team, and I have
yeah,
not said that about a Suns team, and I don't really know how long, bro. So that's the thing that I love the most, bro. But so now my last thing before we get up out here, I want to say too, shout out to the viewers, bro, the lives. I'm gonna have to start doing the lives more because I had got up to 50 last stream. That was fire. The live draft reaction was fire. I'll probably try to do some pregame stuff, but that was cool. That was cool. A lot of people in there. Shout out to viewers,
hey
man.
man, continue to share your thoughts, bro. You
Yeah,
know, ball.
yeah, yeah,
Continue to share your
yeah,
thoughts.
yes, sir. So my last question is, I gotta look too, but is there anybody you specifically looking at towards like I ain't gonna say the trade thing because we never know who's available or stuff like that. But in terms of free agency, we kind of know the guys that'll be available. Is there anybody that you've been looking at or you think that'll be a good fit in Phoenix? Like I said, I'm obviously thinking now about obviously Book and Jalen are going to be the backcourt as of right now. That's why I think it's like a 90% chance that's the backcourt. Obviously, I don't think they're going to move Jalen. Obviously, Book is Book. So then you have to. And I want to say this too. I think it's cool if Collins on the roster. I don't know if Collins ready. So maybe to be that main backup point. I don't know. I have no idea. I don't want to underestimate him or anything, but I don't know if he's ready. So I'm thinking of a point guard. What are you thinking about?
Colin Gillespie, bro. He a G League god. Uh,
Yes,
that boy is putting up like triple doubles galore in the G
facts.
League.
He ended the G
Uh,
League, bro.
mm, but yeah, that's a good point. Like, is he actually ready for like the NBA? I mean, I feel like he showed enough to give it a
Yes,
shot. I feel like he's got
yeah,
that the Saban Lee energy, right?
yeah. I for sure want him on the roster. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He
But
deserves a contract,
if
100%.
if that's how they end up going, where it's just Book, Jalen, Gillespie, I'll be a little bit
Hmm.
worried, but I'm not
Yeah,
gonna be like, terrified or nothing. I
yeah,
think
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think a great fit is actually hilariously somebody like Westbrook. Um,
I was gonna say the same thing, bro.
I mean, hilariously, like, no
Yes,
KD. Now it's like, okay, is the Westbrook door open?
yeah,
But for real, you got a rebounder, you got a defender,
yes,
and you got a guy who pushes pace in transition and likes to be around young guys, bro. Like, by all
yes,
accounts, Russ is one of the best dudes in the NBA, like
for
outside of the
sure.
NBA. So another mentor, another leader, right?
Yeah.
That'll like hold people accountable. I don't know how Book feels about Westbrook or how, like, if there's any
Hmm.
weirdness there or nothing, but I think he'd
Yeah.
actually be a decent fit.
I think they like each other from what I heard. And every time I see them when what's called like they be talking for a little bit every time, I see when he match up with Russ. I think they
Yeah.
like each other for real, to be honest. Yeah, I
I mean,
like that's what I was gonna say the same thing. And he'll love having these young dudes like to run with and push pace. And Russ, like I said, we speaking of throwing lobs. He got
yeah.
like five dudes, he could throw lobs
And
too.
that's a legit skill that I think while Booker might like to do, I'd say like he's not actually great at it. Um,
Facts.
so
Russ
like
is special at it.
Tyus is low key really special at it. So if Tyus comes
Yes.
back, I'm not
Oh, I
mad at
forgot about
Tyus.
that. I didn't even think of that. I seen
Um,
people talk. Now
I
I wouldn't care because
the
we can hide ties now with this team.
the whole reason we got Tyus, and like we got him for the minimum, and we were all so hyped that we got him for the minimum, is because he was throwing lobs to Derek Gafford.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Daniel Gafford. I said
Then
Derek.
you
I was
got yeah,
combining Lively and Gafford.
yeah, yeah.
Daniel Gafford.
Hmm.
He was throwing lobs to him out in Washington, when nobody really cared. But that's how he was racking up 7, 8 assists, and we were like, "Oh, he's gonna
Yes.
do the same thing here." And then we gave him Nurkic, bro, who like couldn't jump over a
Well,
paper bag.
yeah.
Like, come on,
They
G.
gave him nobody to throw
We
lobs to,
really,
bro.
we really tanked our own. Like, it really be your own
Yes.
people, bro. Like,
You're
it's
right.
actually you looking at who's at fault here, and Ishbia staring in the mirror, and it's like, damn.
Right.
All right, let's lock
Yeah, I
in.
didn't even think of that. I wouldn't hate the ties thing either. I know I was on him last year too, but you could
He,
hide him. And then too, I always say he's just a backup too. So he would be back in a role I think fits him the best. Like I said, he'd be out there with those young guys that's defending and like you can like
yeah,
even if these guys is getting by him, like bro, man or Mark's back there tossing shit. So it's like
yeah,
he would still fit here. He would be cool. And I did see the reports that he would like to come back. Because I keep telling people like who would not want to play basketball still in Phoenix. We got these young guys coming in. People seeing this more of a opportunity, I guess, because KD's gone. It's just like I understand it.
I mean, think about it, bro. The only way to go is up, in my opinion. Like you,
Yeah, after that, yeah,
the whole league view of the Suns of the last 3 years is disappointment,
for
right? So
sure,
it's like now it's just, can you help these other guys get better? And that's all Tyus's game is making the other guy's job way easier.
for
Let me
sure.
dribble, let me control the pace, let me get to the spot,
Hmm.
let me draw two, throw the lob, hit the kick out. Like that's his
Hmm.
game. And it's like
Ty
that's
shot good last year too, man.
you know what I'm
So I
saying?
wouldn't
So
hate it.
so that's what we, and I definitely wouldn't hate that. Like I said, Russ for sure would be kind of fun, and just like,
Hmm.
give us again somebody who just cares, bro. Every minute they're out
Played
there,
hard as hell.
they care.
Still at
Like,
his age. Hmm.
yeah, I'm not mad at none of those, to be honest.
Yeah, that's facts, bro. Well, yeah, man. Like, seems like we on the same page. Most of us are. A lot of us. Obviously now we just kind of. I'll say this for next episode, but we got to see. What happens with Brad, with Grayson, Royce. I think those are the three. Those are the three names. Obviously, we got to see what happens because there's a chance all three still here. There's a chance two of them gone. It's a chance one of them's gone. Like those three is obviously the names we're gonna be looking. Like those are the next steps, figuring out what they're gonna do with those three. So yeah, man, that's all I got. That's all we next time we y'all see us on the channel, we'll be seeing what's going on with those three names.
For sure, man. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you. It's I'll hop on whenever you want, for real.
Yes, sir. I'll tap in with you for sure, for sure. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all watching the video. We're gonna get up out of here. Got a nice little about 50 minutes, 46 minutes. A good talk, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad we all got the same level of excitement after that draft because it's fire and it turned around fast because y'all know I got the cool relationship with KD and all that. So I was a little down. I was like, dang, bro, that was one of my favorite players growing up and watching him in Book. Like I didn't think it was only gonna last 2 seasons, bro. I thought
Dude,
my
the
dog was gonna retire here, man.
the
I
the
really
book
did.
masterclass in that first playoff run, man,
I was on the moon.
I will never forget that feeling, bro. Of like,
Never.
we are witnessing Michael Jordan in light skin form. Like, yo, light
KD on the
skins
court
up.
with him screaming like, ah,
I'm out here screaming, light skins up.
yeah.
Nah,
We talking about
nah,
we back.
I'm messing, brother. I'm messing. But nah, it was like
Yeah.
that was what we can say overall about the air is disappointment. But like, we can't ignore the highs, man. I tell people all the time, against Miami, Kevin,
Hmm.
he just, it's like clutch time, no dribble, face up, jab step,
Yes.
Hemi J in this boy's
Yes.
eyeball, like
Yeah.
when it mattered, like, oh, that, like that, those
Yes.
those
He's
moments,
so
bruh, like,
different, bro.
come on, bro,
Yes.
those moments, like, those were special. And like, honestly,
Yes.
a lot of our wins last year came down to just Kevin being way too freaking
Literally.
special, you know.
Literally. That
So
guy still at his age. That's my
so
guy, man.
yeah, man, for real. Like, nah, shout out the Durant era, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the new for real. So,
Yes, sir.
all right,
I'll
man.
see y'all in the next one, man. We out.